Dirty Bomb. Oh boy. Dirty Bomb is a class-based, free-to-play, first-person tactical shooter. Man, where have I heard that before? This game was developed by a company called Splash Damage, the company that is most known for the popular Enemy Territory franchise from id Software, which was apparently the first free-to-play shooter to release. I guess I'll just brush all these under the rug then. From this game's trailer, it tries to get the idea across this isn't some patriotic, flag-up-the-ass game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, but instead a game about a group of mercenaries after one thing and one thing only. Money and tons of it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's something we can all relate to. So hey, I'm a rather greedy bastard with a lack of morals. I think I can understand these characters, so let's dive right into it. Alright, so the game works like this. We can pick 3 characters from a rather interesting roster of people to play as. Each individual has a preset loadout that we can later unlock more of as we make some money. So, me being insane and all, I'm gonna have to go with the guy with the sword, Phantom, cause why use a gun when you could use a sword? Also, invisibility. Always useful. Well, here we are, and I gotta say, the game looks pretty good. Interesting scenery, plenty of cover, and multiple paths to go. Now first things first, the controls for this game. Movement is controlled with the WASD keys, and your abilities are your Q and E keys. Now this seems like, yeah, no shit, you and about every other game does that, which is true, and it's because it works well. If it works well, may as well stick with it, so I guess that's where we're at. Next, let's talk about this game's music. Moving on. As I was running through, I was doubting a lot of people and doing what I thought was a pretty good job. That is until I noticed something. When people fall over, they aren't actually dead. And if I wanted to make sure they didn't get up again, I had to slash a 3rd time. On one hand, this is a great mechanic, meaning people can still be revived. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure I've done more damage with a pool noodle. Now listen, it wouldn't be fair with a one-hit kill with a sword. I agree to this, but 3? This is the definition of a close-range weapon. It should excel at it. I understand balancing issues, but this seems a bit unfair, but I guess it's not the end of the world. Next, let's talk about the actual firefights in this game. I find fighting people in this game are rather fun sometimes, and other times damn frustrating. I don't mean just because I die. Well, actually, it probably is because of that. A frontal assault is slightly short of suicide, and even with invisibility, you're still visible enough that when running around in front of people, they are going to shoot you. The engagements work best when I sneak up behind a person and then attack them. They don't have time to react and usually die. But something I learned firsthand is don't assume you'll win because you got the first swing in. They start to move, and if I miss that second swing, it can easily lead to my death. But I think it comes down to knowing when to engage someone and not. I usually wall hop around people, then attack them from behind so they are disoriented, and it usually ends up with them dead. You did hear me correctly when I said that, wall hopping. Yes, wall hopping is probably one of the most useful skills in this game. It changes combat up so much it's ridiculous. This is what made the game so great for me. Often in games, combat is fast-paced as you run around, but the approach is always following a path. It always bothered me with the idea that parkour is never really introduced in these types of games. But with the wall hopping ability, it begins that path that I've been waiting for shooters to get into. You can now change combat from being just on the X and Y plane to adding Z to the mix. I call it the graph. I think that was a joke. The best part is it adds another element without overkilling it. There is no flying around in the air in the middle of the level with some super jump, but in an alley with walls, watch out. And with invisibility, there is just no limit to your ability. The game is really straightforward. Run in, stab some people, die and respawn, plant a bomb here, plant a bomb there, repair a vehicle, help your teammates, and don't be a dick. It's all very simple, but a basis like that is what makes the game great. So let's sum this all up. Is this game fun? Yes, it's really fun. It has a well-paced action and has some pretty balanced weapons. The game does suffer a little from the pay-to-win ordeal. Now that being said, let me explain. It is true that you can unlock any of the classes with enough time and effort, like I said before, but the amount of time it takes is nearly criminal. In 5 hours of playing, I could not even unlock the character I was playing as. Seeing as how this was the only character I wanted to play as, this is very difficult. I simply lucked out with the roster of free-to-play this week. The amount of money you make in these games is minuscule, which is fine, but you should at least let me be able to afford one of the characters of my choosing by the end of my initial play. It would give me more of an incentive to return. But if you don't have a specific character you want to play as, then it's completely free to play. The multiple loadouts give different ways to play each character and keep gameplay entertaining. It's a fun game and a good way to spend an afternoon. I definitely suggest you give it a try if you like shooters. You won't be disappointed. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you want, you can like and subscribe to the channel as usual, and leave a comment on what you thought of this review. It helps me understand if I'm going in the right path with these videos, trying to make them more attuned to your taste. And a big thanks to Aser Peranthai. Sorry, your name is just really hard to pronunciate. He went over the script and, well, let's just say it wouldn't be what it is without him. Hope to see you again and enjoy your day. Bye. Oh yeah, and social medias. They're a thing.